You also mentioned that you've seen the system being misused in ways, being tied to KPIs and bonuses and things like that. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you've seen?
Yeah, when companies obsess on the score, if they sort of, and, NPS was originally Net Promoter Score. Now when I say it, it usually means Net Promoter System, but the score is very valuable as a learning tool, but the instant you turn it into a target where people are, their bonuses based on it, so they actually care about the score more than what they can learn from the score and the verbatim explanations they get from customers, then you get things like, oh, we don't send surveys in the insurance business to people whose claim has been denied. And so, but what does that mean? It means they're not learning from an important category of customer who's really unhappy. And why do they make that choice? Because they want their scores to go up, because that's what their bonus is on. Or you get the car dealer behavior of begging and pleading for a score. There are so many ways that you can bias the score upwards, because surveys are tricky, sampling strategies and response rates. And, if you want a higher score, just come to me and I could make your score go up by 10 points. Just by switching how likely you'd recommend to a friend 10 to 0 as opposed to 0 to 10. That, those are silly things. And if they're used inappropriately, they lead to people losing confidence in NPS more broadly, when in fact, it's just gaming and manipulation that you could have done with your profit numbers, but you go to jail. We don't have people being as serious about getting this metric done right. And eventually I had to invent a separate metric so we could have a hard metric as well as this softer survey-based metric.
So tell us more about that.
Well, the need for a new metric became clear when I was preaching to the companies using NPS. Stop linking it to frontline bonuses. Stop shaming people by having individual scores. Apple never does that. Apple's scores for each individual go to the individual. The boss in the chain of command also has access to see what's going on, but none of the peers are there because they recognize it's hard to learn. When you get a low score from a customer, that hurts. And so you have to get some safe space to think about it and process it and figure out how to get better. The instant you make it a public humiliation, you destroy the love. But I couldn't, I've failed this far to convince many people to back off this KPI application. So I saw we needed a different score that, together with Net Promoter, could help accomplish this goal of loving your customers better. And I discovered it being used at a bank called First Republic. First Republic is a very impressive success story. I think too few people know about it. I think they raised $8 million of seed funding to get this going 30 years ago or whenever it was, maybe longer. And now they're worth $35-40 billion. It's a monstrous financial success. But they've done it the right way, just like Apple has done it, like Enterprise Rent-A-Car, like Costco. They really have focused on treating their customers right so they come back for more and bring their friends. And they measure it. I was a keynote speaker for them a few years ago, and in prepping me for this talk, they showed me some investor slides that they use each investor day. And I saw one that said, our loans are growing at 15% a year, even though the market is growing at 2% a year. And in my conversation, I learned that, when you're in a risk business, whether it's insurance or banking, when you're growing faster than the market, investors and regulators look at you and think, ooh, you must be loosening your credit standards. You're just a loan loss disaster waiting to happen. And First Republic knew that wasn't true, because most of their growth is with existing customers who they know even better. And with the new customers that are indeed riskier, they're the people who were referred. And so they measure, of all the new business that comes in, how much is coming from existing customers buying more and their referrals. And it was almost 90%. And I thought, oh my gosh, when your earned growth rate is 90% of your growth rate, you've got quality sustainable growth. And as I thought about it, I said, this is something every company should be quantifying and eventually reporting. But initially, just get the data. everyone sort of talks about referrals and recommendation as if it's really important and our reputation is everything. It's even in the Bible. But do we measure it? No, we don't know how to. And then I said, well, look at First Republic. They measure it. Every new customer that comes in, they ask them what's the primary reason you joined. And if it's a referral, they figure out who and why and what to do about that. Now, it's going to be a different challenge in different industries, but this is not, you don't need a genius to figure this one out. It's just going to take some hard work and some reasonable 80-20 thinking. Get, 80-20 being get the core of the insight, even though it's not perfect, but get that into your learning process as opposed to saying, oh, I don't know how to do it.